one man. He has been chosen. This is his last chance to save the world. Critics are calling it the best comedy of the year.
All I want to do is to help you understand you don't have to be wrong anymore. Flip a switch and believe something different.
Everything is about to change.
Yeah!
Hello friends, I'm Jamal. I'm here to talk about sports. I'll mainly stick to football and you. You're welcome. That tastes good. Marcus Mariota, a little too mild-mannered. How would it have gone if he said what he probably should have said? This is how. Press conferences I wish would have happened. Hello everyone, I'm Marcus Mariota. I'd like to thank you for coming to the post-game press conference. Really a celebration of me, because, damn, I was good. 4 touchdowns in the first half, are you kidding me? We basically had to take our foot, here's our foot on the pedal, we did this, right? Because we were doing so well, I didn't even play the whole game. Imagine if I had played the whole game, imagine if I had been trying to score the whole game. 4 touchdowns in the first half, nothing. Alright, look, I have a confession. I feel like singing. And I'm going to call this the Titans ABCs. You basically know the song. Everyone in the press corps, please sing along. Ready? A, B, C, D's nuts. In your face all year. I'm awesome. I'm Marcus Mariota. Why am I wearing the eye patch again? Didn't I talk about another costume? And the reality is, I look good. I always look good, really, but, I mean, with this, I really do look good. The Titans won 42-14. It was remarkable, awesome. Ultimately, I think that it's hard to take too much from this game. You did see the Titans execute, and I like to see that. You've got to harken back to a couple of things. 1, Tampa Bay's not very good. 2, we had not as good of a performance last year, but a pretty darn good performance last year in week 1. You've got to kind of take it with a grain of salt. A lot of things aligned for us today, and in fact, let me get into some Marcus Mariota thoughts here. I was excited by Marcus Mariota today, and I mean, generally, I've been very high on him. I was excited when they drafted him. I wanted him to be drafted. It took me a little while to get there, pre-draft, but ultimately, once I started looking at things, I thought it made the most sense. And once he got into camp, he looked good, and consistently good, to the point that people who are typically pretty Kusnarky, I don't know which. People who are pretty snarky, generally, were issuing praises of him, and like cautious optimism from basically day 1. And that needs to tell you something about what they were seeing. Marcus Mariota probably left the game to record another commercial. He's been marketed quite a bit, and I can deal with that. I mean, I don't really mind so much, but his play on the field matters, and there hasn't been much to complain about. But where does that leave us? And this is where I want to dig in a little bit. The last time a quarterback even looked like this for the Titans was, I don't even know when. Actually, I lied, I do. Surprise. You see, the last time a quarterback looked like this was a guy by the name of Jake Locker. Jake Locker? Locker? Jake Locker. Locker? Yeah. Against the Jets a couple of years ago, Jake Locker had 3 touchdowns in the first half, and everybody was high-fiving each other and celebrating the future. And then what happened? He got injured again. That was probably the last promising thing he ever did for the Titans, actually. And you see, that game was a lot like this one. The other team made a lot of mistakes. We took advantage of it. There was good field position. The quarterback threw for a couple of touchdowns. The defense dominated. Everything lined up. It was almost too easy. Actually, it probably was too easy. Games won't work out like this again. What you need to look at are elements of his game, not the dominating stats. And what I'm saying should make a lot of sense. It should sound familiar. That's because it's pretty much what we were saying before the game. After week 1, we're basically where we were in the preseason. Don't get worked up. Don't buy Super Bowl tickets yet. Stay calm. He's showing signs of being good. In fact, he's showing signs of being great. But context matters. Preseason isn't real, and Tampa Bay sucked. The defense put them in a stranglehold as well, which makes a lot of things easier on offense. Plus, we unveiled some new things. Design QB keepers, option reads, plenty of things you didn't see in the preseason. And again, look at the elements of his game, because everything aligned. And that's not always going to happen, but the elements of his game will remain constant. Now look, I don't expect the hardships to be that severe. But let's wait for some hardships before we really try and determine what he is. And remember, that Jets game with Jake Locker. Always remember the Jets game. On the other side, I do have a note here somewhere. This is on Jameis Winston. I'm glad we didn't draft him. That's all. Doug Martin actually looked good. I think that on a good team, he'd do some damage. On this team, it's questionable. Tampa Bay is not very good. We know that. But the question is, how much better will they be once Winston has a little bit more seasoning and once they get Mike Evans back? Towards the end of the year, this team may look totally different. But for now, not very good. Facial expression grades. Marcus Mariota. Bishop Sankey. Ken Wisenhunt's halftime speech. The play by Marcus Mariota where he almost got us a safety. Whatever the hell Schwenke did when he got the ball. Poster of the week is going to go to Chester Copperpot 1. And really it's summed up by a single post. After the Steelers and New England game, there was a lot of discussion about how New England gets accused of cheating all the time, and it must be because they're just good. And I thought he did a good job of explaining how that makes no sense. In fact, no one has accused the Spurs of cheating, right? And they do well in basketball. No one's accusing the Blackhawks of cheating. They do well in hockey, one of the worst sports around. The New England Patriots? Yeah, we accuse them of cheating. Do you know why? Because they are cheaters. They get caught a lot. And other owners are really pissed off about it. And that's why Roger Goodell went after them. Thread of the week. I'm going to give it to an abortion this week, a miscarriage, a complete failure by 9-9s. He keeps trying to slow play this idea because he had so much success with Jake Locker. He keeps trying to deny the fact that Marcus Mariota looks good, and it's just foolish. But come on, man. He had a good attempt, and basically he was trying to set it up by saying, hey, well, if he's so good and he's ahead of Mettenberger, he should have great stats this week, right? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I think he did. Tweet of the week. This could go down to a lot of different posters. I think that there were some good takes, some funny takes, some accurate takes, some insightful takes. There were a lot of posts about records being broken. I could give it to national media people. But I'll give it to this one instead. Now, if you're like my wife, you probably think that I should be doing some things for my health. She's a dietitian and she tells me that all the time. This podcast is not one of them. If you enjoy it, if you think there's a little bit of redeeming value, if you recognize my greatness, click subscribe. Maybe shoot me a comment telling me how wonderful I am. Maybe look me up on the Two Tone Crew podcast. We cover the Titans on a week-to-week basis. And you can find us on iTunes, on many Android services. You can find us on titansreport.com. You could follow me on Twitter, @JamalIsms. You could follow my assistants. Titans Report is actually @TitansReport. And John Boy is @RetroRockanTour. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love, truly, just deeply within my soul, I would love to talk down to you a little bit more. But I'm running out of things to say. You see, after a week like this, in such dominating fashion, we're probably all pretty close to the same page. Dance, party, log on to titansreport.com, insult a couple of people, and really just, live life to its fullest. So next week, I will work on condescension. I'll bring it to you. I promise. Until then, I'll stick to football.